The Department of Public Health and Human Services is pleased to bring you Aging Horizons. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, fraud, legal issues, veterans benefits, and caregiving. Aging Horizons is a program dedicated to inform and prepare Montanans on these timely issues, making a difference to you and your loved ones. Here now is today's program host.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Aging Horizons. We have a very exciting guest with us today, and she will be talking about Medicare. She'll be talking about income-based assistance program and so much more. Stay tuned. We will be right back.
Did you just text me?
I didn't want to disturb you if you were sleeping.
Sleeping? I'm sitting right next to you, silly.
There you are. Hey, I found a couple of Medicare helping programs online that I think we ought to look into.
It says if we qualify, we can get help paying for our prescription drugs. Oh, and there's a program that can help pay our Part B premium.
To learn more about extra help and Medicare savings programs, call your local SHIP counselor today.
Maybe I better text him.
Someone who said they were from Medicare called and asked for my personal information.
I noticed a charge on my Medicare statement for a test I don't remember having.
I got a letter offering me free medical equipment if I gave them my Medicare number.
Something didn't seem right.
It seemed too good to be true.
If something seems odd, it's probably fraud. Call Senior Medicare Patrol at 800-551-3191 to report fraud. This project is supported by a grant by the Administration for Community Living.
Here in Montana, we love our outdoor activities. Unfortunately, few of them are risk-free. Indeed, Montana is second in the nation per capita in head injuries that can destroy the lives of people we love. That's why you should insist your family always wear protective helmets. But you can do even more. When you fill out your vehicle registration this year, circle the Y and donate $1 to support traumatic brain injury prevention and education. Now that's using the old noggin.
Today, class, we'll be discussing the term ombudsman, a word we borrowed from the Swedes and never gave back. Say you're a resident or you have a loved one in long-term care. Now, what do you do if you're not happy with the care and services you receive? You call your long-term care ombudsman, of course. Your ombudsman is available to support you and your rights. An advocate on your behalf could be the ticket. This is your home. If you have questions, the numbers right there below me have all the answers. Class dismissed.
We're back, and this program is brought to you by the Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services. I'm your host, Wilmot Collins. Today we have with us Cheryl Petersley, and she's the resource specialist at Area 5 Agency on Aging. Welcome to the show, Cheryl.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So let's get into it. We're here going to be talking about Medicare. Medicare is a very important topic for all of us, because we're there now. So tell us about Medicare Parts A, Part B, and what else there is.
Okay, well, Medicare, as we know, is insurance. You qualify once you're coming up on turning 65 years old, or if you're on Social Security disability, and anyone with end-stage renal disease also qualifies for Medicare. When you're first turning 65, you have 7 months to sign up, your initial enrollment period, 3 months before the month you turn, the month of your birthday, and then 3 months after. And then there's all sorts of, so you can sign up with Social Security. You can call and make an appointment with the Social Security Administration office. You can do it online if you create a Social Security SSA.gov account. Either one of those. If you continue to work, if you're working and have good, what they consider creditable health insurance, then you only need to really sign up for Medicare Part A. A covers hospital, inpatient hospital, long-term care, not long-term care, but long-term assistance if you had to rehab in a nursing home, hospice, that sort of thing. But if you have good group insurance, you really do not need to sign up for Part B when you initially turn 65 if you're going to continue working and have good insurance. And then when you do decide to retire, you need to contact Social Security. There's some forms you fill out, and you can sign up at that time, 2-3 months out from when you decide to retire. If you're not working and you decide to sign up for A and B, Part B basically covers, again, like I said, hospital is A. Part B covers doctor appointments, outpatient, preventative flu shots, durable medical equipment, walkers, wheelchairs, that sort of thing. And then you still will need drug coverage for your medications. And that's Part D, like drug. Sorry, did you have a question?
No. Please continue.
Okay. All right. So again, if you have the good group insurance, you don't really need the Part D drug coverage until you decide to retire. But if you do need to sign up if you're not working and you don't have creditable insurance, because if you don't, and then you sign up down the road, 2-3 years or whenever, you will be penalized back to when Medicare and the federal government believes you should have, so when you first turn 65. So with that, again, so your options, you have, of course, you have to sign up for A and B if you don't have good creditable coverage. There are options called Medicare Advantage plans. They take over kind of the billing, I guess, for lack of a better way to think of it, but different Blue Cross, Humana, Aetna, United Healthcare in some areas, they are all based on your zip code and your area where you live. You still have to have A and B, and then the Advantage plan takes over and you use that card for both drugs and health coverage. So at the doctor, hospital, and the pharmacy. So that's another option. If you just decide to go with traditional A and B and a drug plan, then you will be responsible for the 80% that Medicare doesn't pay. Whenever you go to a doctor, should you go to the hospital, there's a deductible you have to pay. So another option, which we are a private nonprofit, so we do not sell, but they're called Medicare supplemental insurances or Medigaps, totally private insurance, and they really don't have an open enrollment. You can sign up anytime for those. But we at our office kind of have a list of agents in our area that if people want to go to a local agent that sell that product and can go over their options with them. But supplemental. And then again, when you first are turning 65, you have what they call guaranteed issue for 6 months from that month you turn 65, where they can't deny you for that private insurance, for the Medigap supplemental insurance. Even, God forbid, say you had just recently had a cancer diagnosis or any of the chronic illnesses, COPD, diabetes. So when you first are coming onto Medicare, that is the time to get into a supplemental insurance if you have a lot of chronic issues, because they can't deny you, basically.
Good.
So
Cheryl, I heard you say we have about 7 months when we turn 65.
Yes.
Is there a penalty if we do not register within that 7 months period?
Yes. Unless, again, like I said, if you are working and you have good, group insurance. Mm-hmm. If you do not sign up for, there's really not a penalty for A. There's no premium for Part A if you've worked at least so many quarters of your life, basically 10 years of your life. There's no premium. Okay. So really, there's not a penalty on that. But for Part B, if you don't sign up, the Medicare then charges you, when you do sign up, it's 10% per year of the average, I believe, of the average premium. But anyway, back to the time that you did turn 65, and
okay,
you should have signed up.
Okay, I got you.
Thanks,
sense. Cheryl. Thank you. So we're talking to Cheryl Petersley. She's the resource specialist at Area 5 Agency on Aging. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned.
I was outside working on some equipment, nothing too strenuous. I started sweating and feeling out of breath.
When he felt pressure in his chest and aching in his arms, I knew we had to call 911.
First responders were there before we knew it. 38 minutes later, the doctors had restored the blood flow to my heart.
Now we know dialing 911 saved his life.
Your life is on the line.
This message sponsored by Mission Lifeline Montana.
You've probably seen some big-name celebrities on your TV lately talking about all the Medicare benefits you're missing out on. But the insurance companies who are paying for these ads may be pushing benefits not available in Montana. Fortunately, help is available from a friendly state health insurance assistance program counselor who can help you sort it all out. It's free, and we screen everyone for eligibility regardless of your zip code. It's Montanans helping Montanans. Call today.
We get it. Life happens. We're Energy Share, a nonprofit that helps Montanans overcome energy emergencies. With statewide support from energy companies and individuals, we've helped over 70,000 families across Montana. No matter your situation, we'll help you keep your heat on. Learn more at EnergyShareMT.com.
Hey, caregivers, did you know that respite time is your time? How will you spend it?
When the weather's good, I gotta get away for some fishing, and that's a must.
Fred Dahlbeck. Clancy.
My grandson tells me we suck at golf. Fun though. And there's never enough time to keep the old 57 Chevy happy.
Montana Lifespan Respite. Respite for caregivers. It's okay to need it. It's okay to want it. It's okay to get it.
Come on, girl.
Hello, everyone. We are on Aging Horizons, and we've been talking to Cheryl Petersley. She's the resource specialist at Area 5 Agency on Aging. Cheryl, thanks for joining us again. Let's get straight into it. Another program you want to talk about with Medicare is the Income-Based Assistance Program. Cheryl, tell us, what is it? What are the different programs?
Okay, so there are income and resource-based assistance programs. The lowest income, it's called MSP or Medicare Savings Program. It's a Medicare assistance program, but it's actually run through the state of Montana, each state by state, wherever you live. But anyway, there's 3 different income levels for the MSP. The lowest is quite low, and then it's low resources based on individual or couples resources and income. Resources being money in the bank, of course, owning any other land. They do not count your house or one vehicle, I believe. But anyway, and so once you qualify, it takes a couple months or so. The lowest income level also provides, if you qualify for that, Medicare's your primary, and then Medicaid kicks in and works just like a supplemental insurance, kind of as your secondary insurance. You still need drug coverage, but you'd have those 2. And then the other 2 are a little bit higher income level. All 3 of them, the state will then help or pay your Medicare Part B premium, which this year just went up. It's almost $203 a month. So that's very helpful for people with, low income. And then, so that's basically that state-run program. Our office helps people, well, any of the areas on agencies on aging will help people apply for that and get that into the local Office of Public Assistance. And then also, if you qualify for that, you automatically should qualify for what they call extra help or low-income subsidy. That is provided through the federal government, a little bit higher income level and higher resource level. That then helps pay your drug, whatever drug plan you have, up to a certain amount on the premium, and also helps with your co-pays for your medications as long as they're covered by the plan. It really lowers the co-pays quite a bit. And then if you don't qualify, if people don't qualify for either one of those lower income assistance programs, then we have in Montana, we have Big Sky RX, which does not count resources, and is a higher income level. So a lot of people may qualify for that where they don't for the others. It does not help with copays, but they do help with up to a certain amount on your drug plan premium. So again, any agency on aging can help you kind of dissect and go through that whole craziness and figure out, what you may qualify for. But every little bit helps, I think. And so we try that. Other people, we will help if they have high hospital bills. That's not a Medicare thing, but the most hospitals and some doctor's office and community healths will offer like a sliding scale, or the hospitals, there's financial assistance and paperwork that we also can, help people put in and fill out the paperwork to apply for, where if they can't afford a huge hospital bill, they might be a little bit over those income, they don't get Medicaid, also can't afford a supplement, but then the hospital writes off, if you qualify. Each hospital, I'm sure, has their own income and resource levels there, but then they will, I guess for lack of a better way, just write off a certain percentage of the bill. So all those seem to help. We kind of, whenever we have people come in that are, coming onto Medicare, or people will just call us and, I can't afford my Medicare Part B, premium. We, kind of go over their options and try to help people as much as we can. So.
Yeah, so you spoke about MSP.
Yes.
What is that? MSP is the Medicare what?
Medicare Savings Program.
Medicare Savings Program.
Right.
And then you talk about LIS. All these acronyms, we need to know what they are. What's LIS?
So LIS is Low Income Subsidy, and that's the federal government program that helps, with your drug plan and your drug costs. Also known as Extra Help. It's called.
Okay.
Everything has at least 2 or 3 names, right? With Medicare, right? Just to throw people off.
Yes. And then you talk about Big Sky RX.
Yes.
So,
and that. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead. Tell us.
Just that is basically way quicker. Their office is in Helena. It's an online application you can do, or we can do for you, and then you find out within a couple days. Big Sky RX then will certain of the drug plans, they will pay directly the premium, like I said, up to a certain amount, and then or they'll reimburse you if you're having your payment come out of your Social Security or a checking account. They set up they have paperwork to fill out, and then they will reimburse people back into an account.
Okay.
So, great. It's a great program.
I think these programs are really great. Sure, I want to thank you for talking about these programs, because a lot of our seniors are not aware, and then they should know that these programs are theirs. All they have to do is apply for them, go online, make the call, fill out the paperwork, and you have the program to assist you. So they don't have to do it alone. The state of Montana is there to assist. So what I want you to do is stay tuned, get your cup of coffee. We'll be right back.
Out here, we love our animals. From the wildlife to the livestock. Inside, it's the same. They're just like family. We keep them happy and healthy, most of the time. Secondhand smoke puts pets at risk for cancer, feline lymphoma, vomiting, increases the risk of tumors and lung cancer, even causes eye and skin disease. Secondhand smoke puts your pet's life at risk.
Hey, caregivers, did you know that respite time is your time? How will you spend it?
Respite is really perfect for things I like to do, but my son isn't interested in.
Vicki Henry, Manhattan.
Gardening isn't one of his favorite things, and he knows and likes his caregivers a lot, so it's a win-win. Or even something as simple as a bike ride becomes possible when I know that someone I trust is with him.
Montana Lifespan Respite. Respite for caregivers. It's okay to need it. It's okay to want it. It's okay to get it.
It's good for both of us.
I was diagnosed with diabetes in 1992 and I went into denial. It made me angry. I was a professional chef and I didn't want to change my eating style. It took me a long time to get serious about managing my health. My perspective changed from resentment to one of loving my body, the container for my spirit. Getting help from my diabetes educator supported my goals of improved self-care. I want to feel good and have a great life. My diabetes educator helps me do this.
We're back, and we have been talking to Shara Petersley from Area 5 Agency on Aging. She's the resource specialist. Shara, we are just so happy that you have come on this program today. Tell us about your agency, Area 5 Agency on Aging. Tell us, what do you all do?
We do. Well, pretty much, it seems like everything. We offer, well, like you said, I'm a resource specialist. Pretty much everyone in the office is, but we will help people with information and assistance, any questions, point them in the right direction if it's something we can't help with. So information and assistance, basically resources in the area for people, for beneficiaries. Help people with, well, we have SHIP counselors, State Health Insurance Assistance Program. That's what I am. Most everyone in our office is, and can help people when they're first coming onto Medicare, any Medicare questions, and Medicaid as well. If they have questions about applications, redetermination paperwork, we help people with all sorts of paperwork. Even if they are maybe applying for Social Security disability and they just need someone to go over the paperwork with them, we can do that. And then, of course, our big busy time for the Medicare and the drug plans is the open enrollment period, which is October 15th through December 7th every year. Mm-hmm. That's when people that maybe don't qualify for the low-income assistance, any of the programs, are able to change their drug plan for the following year. That's when all the drug plans make their changes too, is the first part of October. So we always suggest that people, even if you love your plan, good idea to just go over everything, either give your local, wherever you live, your area on aging, give them a call, they can go over it, or go in, create your online Medicare.gov account. You can do it, a lot of people can do it themselves if you have access to the internet and a computer. And but if you have any questions at all, we help people do that. And that's our probably craziest time of the year. But we keep busy all year. People are always turning 65, right? Or retiring. And, it's not like we just close up shop for the other 7 months or whatever. But
do you have daily programs for the citizens in your area? Where are you located?
So our agency is in Butte, Area 5. We also, our other name, like I said, everyone has another name, but we are Southwest Montana Aging and Disability Services. But we are in Butte, and we cover 6 counties. Of course, Silver Bow County, Madison, Beaverhead, Granite, Deer Lodge, and Powell counties. So we don't have daily programs per se. We are doing Medicare 101s. Last year we did quite a few Medicare 101 presentations for people with questions or just coming on to Medicare. We're shooting for doing that every 3 months, like every quarter we will have a Medicare 101. So we get the word out and get the information to people. We do go over not just Medicare, but also SMP, we call it Senior Medicare Patrol, but basically to go over issues with Medicare fraud. When we meet with people, mention, pay attention to your Medicare summary notice, make sure you're not getting billed for something you didn't have done. get the word out, and if there's any fraud going on, we try to get that word out to our local communities.
So how do you get the word out? Because
PSAs on the radio, for the Medicare 101s, to, like flyers to maybe all the insurance agents, and had a lot of calls from people, like investment people like Edward Jones, or that they're they would like to have information to give to their people that they are helping financially plan their lives. They can, if they're coming onto Medicare and have questions, they send them to us. So word of mouth, posters.
Okay. So if I were to come to your office,
yes,
what would be some of the programs do you have? Because I know some AAAs, they talk about, they have exercises, they have feeding programs, they have all these other kind of Meals on Wheels. So what are some of the programs I will receive if I were to come into your office?
So the Meals on Wheels and the bingo, that is all through our senior center, the Belmont Senior Center, which our director is Joe Gilboy. I mean, he's over, of course, all the senior centers in our area. They have exercise, different exercise and bingo. So we would point you in the right direction.
Right.
You don't want me to do exercise programs with you, just say it. But we also, one of my coworkers, well, and maybe two now, our new gal is going to learn that too, but she works with the Veterans Direct VDC program, which is funded by the VA, but it works with a lot of the local veterans. That, from what I know of it, the VA does like a budget for the veteran, and then the veteran manages that budget to try to keep them staying in their own home and not having to go to a long-term care facility. So that's a great program and very busy. We have a lot of veterans in our area.
Okay. Yes. So is there any last words you want to tell the audience before we close up?
I guess I know it's early, but every year we have May is Older Americans Month, so I know we're early. But just to save the date, we have our Never Too Old to Play, our senior health or fun fair. Sorry, it's a Friday, May 1st this year, and more to come on that. But if anyone's interested, just contact us. Always a fun time. We usually get about 300 seniors in the area. There's music, there's exercise there, and a free lunch provided. So yeah, I mean, just a fun day for the local
Thank you. Cheryl, I want to thank you so much for being on the program. I want my audience to know we will see you next week. This has been Aging Horizon, and I'm your host, Wilmot Collins, signing off.
Special thanks to the Department of Public Health and Human Services for their continued support. Hosts on Aging Horizons are program specialists at the Montana Office on Aging. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions. For more information about Aging Horizons, call the Department of Public Health and Human Services toll-free at 800-332-2272.